What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian, in the place to be in the Birdcage. Well, we got the magnificent Birdcage crew coming, and we got some things that are going to blow your mind tonight. And we got a few things that we're going to pay homage to tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy. We got you covered. It's the Birdcage. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Hey man, we're not gonna sit here and debate debate on this real quick, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out here because I got family that's down in Florida. Prayers up to the folks that's down in South Florida right now, Tampa, St. Pete, Miami, Clearwater, just that whole area just got devastated. And also, prayers out to everybody in the state of Florida that was affected by this hurricane, because again, there were folks that were affected during the week of the New Orleans Saints game as well. So that's two back to back and a possible another hurricane coming up. And also rest in peace to one of the best cornerbacks to ever play in the league, Mr. Pat Fisher. Many folks don't know about him, but he definitely played for 17 years. They were the St. Louis Cardinals at the time, and then he played for the Washington Redskins and helped them get to the pretty much the Super Bowl in 1972, which eventually lost to the Dolphins. So we got a little something prepared. But while we got that going, I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the magnificent Birdcage crew. We got Gray Beard and we got K Dub in the building. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What's going on, historian? How you doing? And once again, I feel you, man. I have family down there in Florida. Pray be to God, everybody's okay, everybody's all right. But yeah, just my deep prayer to everybody out in Florida, man. It was a horrific storm. It really was a bad storm.
Yeah. Yes, K Dub popped out real quick. He's gonna pop back in. But yeah, man, you know why I got the prayer. You know why I got the prayer view hoodie on, right?
Yeah.
They rivals the Southern University, but I love my HBCUs. I will never wear a Grambling hoodie though. I'll tell you that now. But shout out to Mr. Cadero. I had to pull this out the closet or whatnot. Shout out to Mr. Cadero Hodge or whatnot. Yeah, I'm rocking the Prairie View A&M hoodie, bro. This is a shout out to you or whatnot. A silent shout out. But as I said before, I ain't going nowhere. I got that SU on my chest, baby.
I knew it.
Always.
I knew it.
Look, I gotta give him a shout out, but I can't totally be up in Prairie View A&M stuff.
I knew it was somewhere. I just knew it.
Hey, but let's go ahead and get to it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, K-Dub.
No, I mean, my internet is acting up tonight. I'm sorry, people out there, but I feel the exact same way. I have a lot of friends and family in the Florida area. I've been praying all week long because I know what kind of storm it was going to be, and I survived Irma. I went through the same thing with Irma. So my heart goes out to everyone down there. But they're so hard headed.
Dang.
Mhm.
Yeah, it getting that bad, man.
Yeah.
But we
You
get you,
still,
K-Dub.
we got you. But while we got you on here, let's go ahead and get these topics started, man, because a lot of the fans want to talk a little bit about this upcoming game. We got the Atlanta Carolina preview, but man, here's some huge news. Let's talk a little bit about it. Nate Landman is coming back to the Falcons today. Pretty much he's got 21 days to get everything back right, and we're gonna see where we go with this here, because with the linebacking core that we have right now, we definitely need as much depth as we can for pretty much for the next 12 games. That's pretty much how that's gonna be. And the Philadelphia Eagles released a familiar foe, a rival, this week. Do you think we take a shot at bringing him in with Rashawn Evans, who's already here, to bring more depth and experience to this linebacking core? And there's no disrespect to what we have out of JD Bertrand, but he's just not ready yet. The game just isn't clicking.
Green. He green. I don't think it'd be not a bad idea, especially Troy Anderson didn't practice today because of a knee injury, and we don't know what his health is going to be. So, you can never go wrong with too much depth, especially quality depth. So, if the money is right and Terry, can cook up some more magic, man. Yeah, I'll work him on my board.
Yeah,
I mean, I truly feel like we need to stay put. The only person I would try to move for is going to get Riddick somehow. Other than that, I think we stay put with what we have in our linebacking core.
I got a possible name for you outside of Riddick or whatnot, and he won't cost as much. I say go get Max Crosby, because the Raiders are having a fire sale for a lot of guys at this point. Max Crosby is the dude that I would not mind having. No,
they ain't gonna let him go.
Well, here's the thing, though. A lot of people said the Broncos weren't gonna let Justin Simmons go either.
Right now,
Just saying.
Yeah, I understand that, but Cosby right now is probably one of the best players on their team right now. Besides upcoming Brock Bowers.
We're talking about money, though. The Raiders would try to cut. I'll put it this way. The Raiders will probably end up unloading that contract or whatnot to bring in another guy, because you got to remember, Antonio Pierce.
Tell him, Will.
Get the hell out of here.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep talking, because at this point you just being a fan right now, dog. Because I think you just trying to be funny right now. That right there would be foolish. That boy, he a little too light in the butt.
I love this Rich.
That boy a little too light in the butt to play linebacker, dog. Can't do that.
Hey, look, I love how they use it, Richard. They hide him now, but you can't even talk bad about it. They got Justin Simmons out there.
But here's my thing, but not as a middle linebacker though, bro.
No, I
was talking about him. No, here's the thing, Richard. They're figuring out a way to put him in there now, which is good. But we still
coming back.
But here's the thing. But we still got to get a little bit more consistency out of Mr. Grant or whatnot. Yeah. Still.
But Matt Crosby, bro.
Let's be real.
I love
Devin White is free right now. Would you not mind bringing a veteran like that in Atlanta? And you can get him for the cheap right now.
I love it.
I just feel like my linebacker core is getting healthy now. Lando back in there. I just feel like we're gonna be ready to rock, man. What we got? I'm
good with our linebacker core. I'm thinking about depth, so we won't put mileage on the linebackers like that. Because you see what the impact was when Troy Anderson was down, and you see what we had to go with Bertrand. That was a little suspect.
Well, I mean,
not trying to diss the young man, but it's just like that.
But I'm on the side of how is Bertrand gonna grow? How is he gonna get reps to get better? If he's stuck behind Devin White.
But here's the thing: the way that you get reps and you get better outside of mental reps, you learn from veteran linebackers that are in front of you. You got a guy in Trey Anderson who's not a true linebacker. He's still learning how to play the position. You would bring in a guy that was an established Pro Bowler who still has a lot of tread left on the tires or whatnot, that could come in and still school this kid on what to look for, train his eyes to be able to look for different things, pretty much understand how to not over pursue a ball carrier because he was in the right place. He was either a step too slow or a step too fast in that ball game. And I think that's going to come with time. But you're not going to be able to learn from a guy that ain't never played linebacker. I'm sorry. Just like Penix. Penix is learning from Kirk Cousins right now.
No, I understand what you're
Game
getting
up right now.
at. I'm not saying that you're incorrect. What I'm saying is, I want JD Bertrand to learn how he's been learning. If somebody gets hurt, he comes in because Lando's back now, and then Troy Anderson will be back shortly. So I just feel like go with what you have. Now, if this guy comes in dirt cheap, like we can get him for nothing, then yeah, bring him on. Come on,
because
really
that's been our problem. But here's the thing, but that's been our problem with the linebacker depth. We had a problem with the defensive line depth, which got addressed this offseason. The next room that has to be addressed is the linebacker room because we're holding that together. We got 3 guys that are superstars, but we got to be able to have some depth with quality players that have experience that can teach the young buck how to ball because I think he's going to be great once he learns how to become an NFL linebacker, and that's going to take time.
We need a bona fide leader in that linebacker room.
Yep.
I feel you on that, but I'm just saying it don't have to be Devin White. But if it comes for dirt cheap, like I said, I'm not poo-pooing nothing. I'm saying if it comes for dirt cheap, yes. But
anybody can make a way. It's Chef Terry.
Yeah.
And that's why I say he on the cheap right now. You're talking about a guy that's got experience, that's won a Super Bowl and understands what it takes to win. So I'm all about bringing the guy on the team that can help enhance our defense. And plus, he still knows that Tampa scheme over there that he can help the offense out. Just saying, that would be something else to help. But let's get to it. Speaking of the division, the Falcons can be in front of the division this Sunday with the win and a Bucs loss. So, in other words, I want the Saints and the Bucs to just destroy each other. But if the Saints beat the Bucs, Atlanta has a clear shot of being at the top of the division right now. How critical is this game? Because we don't need to have a fallout like Alabama did pretty much a week and a half ago with losing to Vanderbilt. We can't fall into a trap game with Carolina and just we can't fall into a trap game with Carolina because we know that's a rivalry game and we know those go either way. So how important is this? I want K-Dub to start this one here. And then you can jump in.
Well, we definitely don't want to fall for a banana in the tailpipe type of situation with going into Carolina and playing them. So I think what we need to do is keep our heads forward and continue to go with the mission, man. And that's follow the esteem of the head coach. That's what usually teams do. And Rod's been even keel. He knows when to dance, when it's time to dance. He knows when to smile, when it's time to smile. Let's go, man. I just feel like we talked this into existence. We already written this story out for him. So I feel like we're gonna win 11 games and win this division like we thought we said we would at the beginning of this season, like everyone on this panel did. We got to go out there and beat those guys. So I just feel like this is just a part of the plan that we already had in motion, that we spoke into existence, and we just need to go out there and continue to stay healthy and let Kirk shine. I mean, you don't go put up 509 yards by accident. This guy's got it right now. I don't feel like it'll be no week 8, week 9. I think every week. I didn't win player of the week for nothing. Let's go. So it's like I said, we've established who's the number 1. That's Mooney. We established who's the number 2. I mean, the pecking order is establishing itself as you play the games. And I mean, if every Falcon fan should see it by now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know where certain people were drafted. They were drafted at 4. They were drafted at 8. Whatever they were drafted at, that doesn't matter. It's all about where that quarterback's going to. And it's looking like Mooney is getting underpaid right now because looks like a steal so far.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my my thing on it, man. I feel like we're gonna get it, man. Win the division. Now, the way they're looking and where they're playing, and I know they can get better and play better because they've not played just an excellent, perfect game yet. I feel like we may can get more than 11 wins. So I may have to rethink what I thought, at the beginning of the season because we may get 12, 13, who knows? Because they look a lot better than I thought they would early on. So uh, I don't want to get ahead of myself in thinking that, but I truly believe that we're going in the right direction with Raheem and his staff.
To piggyback with Kate up, I agree to for most of what he said, but I just want the team to keep that mentality because Carolina didn't get a trap game. We go back to last year when we played these boys and we looked like absolute freaking garbage against Chuba Hubbard.
Mhm.
I'm just cold. We need to still maintain. We keep an eye on him because he he can run the football. We already know we had a little bit of trouble with our run defense the last game. So hopefully we can get that tightened up with this little bit of mini bye that we had. But yeah, I mean I just for me I think we just need to handle what we can handle on our end, which is win. Let's go ahead and take care of Carolina and just let watch the massacre known as the Buck and Ain't and watch them just absolutely try to freaking kill each other. No IRL, but let's just for us just let us handle what we can handle. I hope Raheem Morgan just pounded that in. I hope Kurt Cobain just keep doing what he doing. You know, okay, we do got some a little bit of nagging injury to some of our quality players, but I just think we just for me, I just think, man, this is what we wanted to see from the Falcon team, the brigade, how they can fight and how they can put points on the board.
I'ma just hammer it home. Like I said, my main thing is depth. That is my main thing is depth for a 17 game season. Not trying to rain on nobody parade, but the depth needs to be addressed. It needs to be. The secondary is fine. Defensive line is fine. I need more depth with the offensive line, and I need more depth with the linebacking core. Those are two key things that you're going to need on both sides, on either side of the ball. Because again, the linebacking core is pretty much going to be your interior that we were getting gutted in those two games. The Saints were able to run on us, and the Bucs were able to run on us. We have to get quality depth at those positions where guys can rotate and make plays. Because let's be real, the defense played great within the first few weeks. We showed up in the times against New Orleans and showed up against the Tampa Bay Bucs when we needed to make those plays to help our offense get back on the field to have those last second wins. We need to be able to execute better with tackling a little bit better throughout the game. You can't just keep letting people get chunk plays, bust you up the gut with runs. We've got to get a little bit better. Those are the two worst games that I think the defense has played, and we still won that game. And we have
Mm-hmm.
yet to play a true complete game all season.
Yeah,
Agreed.
We have
that's
yet to play a complete game yet. And
Agreed.
that is something that we have to do. Now we're winning games and we're in all these games, and every game has been a one possession game, and we have yet to play a complete game. So just imagine what this Falcons team can do when they play a total complete game, offensively, defensively, special teams. When this team learns, and I say by week 7, the latest I'm gonna go is week 8. When everybody is clicking on all cylinders, it's gonna be hard to stop the Falcons. And remember, Rondale Moore is gone for the year. So just imagine what this offense would be like if you had him, Ray McLeod, Mooney, and company. It's gonna be
hmm
even better when he come back next year. So that's what I got for y'all. But speaking of the offense, let's talk about it. The O-line pass protection is really key to the Falcons' success.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel that the offensive line has performed so far?
Uh they getting better each game, and that's a plus. Because last year the freaking offensive line was like night and day. They might give you a good game here. In the next 3 games they might be piss poor. So I like the progression with the offensive line. Only thing about it is we can't stay healthy with McGarity and Dahlman. Hopefully we can get Dahlman back. McGarity came back. He looked a little better for what he worth. But I just think we need to continue to try to get more healthy and get more consistent. Once we get that consistency down again, I think Kirk Cousins will be able to really let it fly. But that's the key right now for the offensive line is to get healthy and get the more consistency on that line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he said that Gray Beard touched on everything that my sentiments. I feel the same exact way that they just need to keep improving and like I said, tell McGarry that Storm Norton is right behind you, sir. We're not playing those ball games. You know, we got a passer that can throw for 500 yards. Okay, so I need you to protect this guy. You know, it's not that hard because as soon as you give up a sack, I'm taking you out. I mean, this is the conversation they need to have with this guy because the rest of the line plays pretty well and don't get those penalties. We need to stay away from the penalties. Keep the penalties down, and I think they'll do a good job, man. I think I think I'm the guy that was raving about the offensive line in the preseason. So I mean, I'm behind him, so I can't speak bad about him because I raved about him. I'm gonna move on.
That's cool. You can move on, but I'm not.
You
You know I'm not. Yeah. I'm with the fool. I'm with the fool. Listen, I'm with the foolishness tonight a little bit. I'm a host, but I'm with the foolishness a little bit. Look, shout out to my HBCUs, but I'm about to be as delayed with this one as a refund check that you get from an HBCU. So I got to get with it tonight.
Wow.
Storm Norton has got to be the guy that's starting. I'm sorry. McGarry has been a high risk. Think about it. In both games that you saw McGarry playing in or whatnot, he's been the liability. Been saying this. He's been the liability. Ryan Newsom has come in and he's held his own. Got to give it to him. That man has stepped in for Dahlman and has balled out. Now Dahlman's back and he's going to do his thing. We already know what Dahlman's going to do, but at least we know we got depth at that center position. But Storm Norton needs to be the starter. At this point, he has to be because McGarry got whipped, period. McGarry got whipped. And fortunately, Kirk had one of those nights where he was in the zone. We were blessed to have that because because think about it, Kirk got sacked twice in that game. And that really could have changed a lot of stuff. But Kirk shook it off like a prize fighter, got up and kept firing. And that is what you want in your quarterback. And he wasn't shell-shocked, thank God. But Storm Norton has to start. McGarry got to go. He had one good game, and everybody, we gave him credit, and we see what happened. He fell apart. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because if you ever look at it, look at where most of the pressure comes on the inside and also on the outside. You got the defensive ends pretty much stunning and twisting on the inside of McGarry, or they're looping around on the outside of him and whipping him, and literally they're actually getting to Cousins. That right there, we got to keep Kirk Cousins clean if we want to have more games like we had against the Tampa Bay Bucs, where he threw a pick, but he had 509 yards. Really could have broke the record with 550 some yards. Would have broke Norm Van Brocklin's record if Mooney would have caught that pass.
You talking about the Dan Dutchman?
Yes, I'm talking about the Dutchman, the legendary Philadelphia Eagles quarterback, former Atlanta Falcons coach back in the 60s. Yes, I am talking about Norm Van Brocklin.
The Dankin Dutchman. Wow.
Yeah. You got to talk about the Dutchman. Respect and rest in peace to Mr. Norm Van Brocklin. Three-time NFL champion. So he definitely in the NFL Hall of Fame. So it would have been an honor to watch an Atlanta Falcon do it and break his record. That would have been an honor to see that.
He was close. If Darnell Mooney wouldn't have dropped them 2 packs, man, he would have had it.
But who's to say he won't have another game like that this year and he might break it? Got to keep him clean, though.
Got to keep him clean. But we can't throw it for 58 times, man. We can't throw it.
if he hot like that where he's not missing, let him go. Let him go. You saying that, but I'm gonna tell you this here: if he's slicing up a defense, you gonna stop him?
I mean, yeah, if he can rid him, man, should let it go. But I still want to see a little bit more of that balance come in.
I'm all about winning ball games. I'm all about riding the hot hand. I'm all about riding the hot hand. That look for a split second, you started to sound like Mike Bobo a little bit with that one. Stopping the hot hand.
How dare you? How dare you? the Bobo that should have been go for show.
I don't think Bobo should be taking all his heat, man. These players ain't making plays. Man.
No. I'm just talking trash about them. But let's be real though. Now I'll say this: if they make plays or whatnot, they make him look like a genius. But it's just like this, and I'm gonna describe it because I'm gonna put Zach Robinson in this. You have to look at it like this: the playbook could be the same because Zach Robinson and Bobo are in the kind of same situation. Let's call it. Bobo's got a little bit more time, but he's running a Todd Monken playbook, which is another coach. I mean, another coach pretty much, and then you got Zach Robinson running another coach's playbook. That's pretty much like you bringing in two different chefs to cook in the kitchen. One chef might like Cajun steak. The other chef might like regular salt and pepper. One has garlic mashed potatoes. The other has a loaded baked potato. It's pretty much you're going to get a meal from both of them. You just don't know how it's going to go and how that rhythm is going to be. So, you know, it's just different. Tomato. But speaking
just
of
like Shanahan and Stark.
Don't even go there. But don't even go there. But let's call this here. The secondary has been the best part of the defense. It's pretty much been the strength of our defense this year. Without having a strong pass rush this year, and we have two of the best safeties in the NFL.
We have the best safety duo in football.
We got two of the best. We got two of the best. But we also have AJ Terrell, who's starting to get in the rhythm. Got to give him his credit. He's finally getting in the rhythm. And now you got Mike Hughes balling. So
love it.
So here's the question I got for y'all boys. The secondary has been the strength of this team. How in the world do we continue to see the secondary create turnovers for the defense and give it back to the offense? And we don't even have pass rush. It seems like it's become a routine. What makes you guys so comfortable with this back end of the defense?
We got a good defensive back coach in Mr. Gray. That helps out tremendously. And then on top of that, you add in freaking the best safety in football, which is Bankhead Bates. And then you add in him. Then AJ Terrell balling. Then you see the rock in the pews. We like PP3 when he comes in the nickel. D. Alford make play. So I just think it starts with that nucleus with Mr. Gray, man. Like I said, he has been the best hire in the past 5 years for the Falcon football team. A diamond in the rough. So I just think we need to build on that. But the defensive line need to freaking reward the back end of the football by trying their best to create pressure. Therefore, they take a little bit of pressure off that of the defensive back. Lord forgive because of what to happen, man. Then we have to rely on our defensive end. They got there and create pressure right now. We stuck. So hopefully they can get it together.
I mean, like I said, Rayvid, like I said, on this topic also, he touched on everything, man. I mean, the same sentiments. I'm like, continue to get better. I just feel like this is just the starting point of this secondary. I feel like they put the right players together because sometimes it don't always be a good fit when you put guys together. I feel like they got a right fit, and they're going to continue to get better as they play together each game. I think this is just a starting point. We're not even garnering a lot of interceptions right now. Bankhead is really like, follow my lead. I want y'all to be punching the ball out too. I shouldn't be the only one punching balls out. I want everybody punching balls out. So we need more turnovers. I think we need to get more of them. So I need more interceptions. I need more balls get punched out. I need more fumbles being recovered. So I feel like they ain't doing enough yet. They doing great, but you ain't doing outstanding. So let's go. Back in, I expect more out of you guys. You got two all pros back there. You ain't just got no Rudy Poops back there. So let's go.
Rudy Poop.
I'm calling them out.
But let's be real on this.
Okay, final ball.
I gotta give Justin Simmons his flowers because for a guy that came in that is learning the playbook. Now you got to remember that playbook's about that thick.
Yeah.
You got a guy that's learning a playbook on the fly. Think about it. He picks off Pat Mahomes
Yeah.
Picks off Pat Mahomes. He's making plays on the defensive side of the ball that people aren't talking about. No, it doesn't come up on the stat sheet, but he's been very disruptive. Pass breakups, being in the alleys, filling up, and literally making running backs change direction to where teammates can make plays or whatnot if he's not the one making it. It's so many things that most people aren't even paying attention to when you look at what this gentleman is doing on this defense. So once he learns the playbook and you're able to open it up, good luck trying to throw on that back end, or good luck trying to run on that back end, because both of the safeties that we have are very physical and they do not mind coming up and knocking your jock strap loose.
Yeah, look,
and they can play and they can cover.
They'll come up and hit you in the mouth. That's what I like about it. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I just feel like everything you said to back it up is, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Them guys gonna act a fool before it's over with.
And I got to give Mike Hughes a shout out, because now that he understands the defense a little bit better, we're seeing the side of Mike Hughes that he was like when he was at UCF. Not as a journeyman, the side of Mike Hughes where he pretty much was on that field with Richie Grant and Marquise Bell. Shout out to FAMU alum. And you know what I mean? When they were out in UCF balling in that secondary, because that was one of the tough, even though they didn't have the numbers like that, that was one of the toughest secondaries in the country at that time. Think about it. You wasn't throwing on them like that. You might run on them, but you're not throwing on them like that. So again, when you have guys that love the game, they're students of the game. I'm sorry, not students, they're scholars of the game. Let me get this straight. They're scholars of the game. You're a scholar when you're working under Professor Jerry Gray, because Jerry Gray breaks down being a corner and a safety like you break down fractions in elementary school. That's pretty much what he does. That is Professor Gray. That's what we call him, because he got AJ playing well now. He's figured it out. And so shout out to Jerry Gray. You know, now here's the other thing that we're going to talk about. Something else that most people have bypassed, but the 2-minute offense. The 2-minute offense, Kirk Cousins doesn't think. You got 2 and 3 plays in a 2-minute offense. It's already scripted for you. You just figure out what plays you're going to run. I think we need to incorporate the 2-minute offense just to start a game to keep a team on its heels, because they're going to dig in and wait for Bijan Robinson. So guess what? Put the 2-minute offense in and get them boys running quick and have them thinking like, what the hell is going on?
I like
what
it.
do y'all think?
I like it. I think it'll be effective. I mean, especially, man, he pretty much like Matt Ryan when he get in that 2-minute drill. I mean, he just literally be tearing defense apart. And that drive to get up in field goal range, to get up in overtime, was perfect. I'm talking about perfect. Because if you go back and look at what Dak Prescott did it, when he ran and did it and still couldn't get down, and he pretty much had more time than freaking Kirk Cousins the way he did it. Come on, man. I think Jimmy Lake and Kirk Cousins are finally starting to show a little bit of cohesion. Still need to work out a few more things, but I do agree. I think the 2-minute offense starting out the game will really get defense out of rhythm and whatnot, and therefore we can open up the run a little bit more.
No, I feel like it would be beneficial for us to use the 2-minute offense, but I would use it periodically through the game. I wouldn't use it so much for defense to really catch on to it and know how to defend the Falcons. So I just say use it, but use it sparingly. But, you know, boom, let's go. We're going on this particular possession. We're going our 2-minute offense, but don't get so repetitive with it where they can catch on when we're going to do it. Yeah, I like that. I like the 2-minute offense and how he executes and gets it down the field.
So here's the thing I'm going to bring up for you guys. And it's a team that went to the Super Bowl 4 times running the K-Gun offense, a.k.a. the 2-minute offense, Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
I'm going to tell you right now, and from being a former defensive back and you're running against that, you're tired. We got guys that can run up the score like a cash machine. I understand running Bijan, but here's my thing. When you got horses in the secondary, you got horses at that wide receiver position that can make stuff happen, guess what? Kyle Pitts becomes more involved in the 2-minute offense. Think about it. We've been talking about this. Now, I want to run the ball because let's be real. Thurman Thomas thrived in that offense. I compared Bijan Robinson, and you can go back to the draft. I compared him to a young Thurman Thomas. When you look at the way that he plays the game, now the difference is Thurman is more of a north-south runner than Bijan is. That's the difference. But when you talk about everything else, they're exactly the same. They catch the ball out of the backfield well. They definitely can make you miss. They run routes very well, and they can also run the stretch play real well. But Thurman was a little bit better at running in between the tackles. I think Bijan's going to get better at that as time goes. But anybody that ever ran against a 2-minute offense, and I'm saying with regularity with a veteran quarterback like Kirk, man, they gonna hurt. They gonna hurt folks. They will hurt folks. And with the way that defenses are playing off, and the reason I say it would be perfect, what does every cornerback do now in the league? You don't see much bump and run anymore, right?
Pretty much, man.
Everybody's playing 5 yards off the ball.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love to see the balance too. And we're going to get to the balance. But the reason I say the 2-minute offense would be perfect for us, Kirk doesn't have to think. And I think, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I think the deadliest quarterback that's going to touch the league is going to be Michael Penix Jr. in a 2-minute offense.
Oh, yeah.
With the release that he has, and once the game slows down for him, I think he's going to be the next great quarterback that's going to run a 2-minute offense, and they're going to make it a regularity, and he's going to kill folks with it. That's just me. Yeah, he's learning from Kirk.
Yeah. Then with him having a major mobility, you know what I'm saying, he's going to be real nice with it. And like I say, he's learning from somebody that's executed at a high level. And I mean, like I said, this is great. It's now you looking back, the pick looks like even better because he gets a chance to really learn and sit, because a lot of these guys getting thrown in the fire. Now you got Spencer Rattler about to get thrown out there in the fire because Derek Carr hurt. You know what I'm saying? So now
Monday Night Football.
I mean, it's like, you know, it's just like, whoa.
I mean, Sunday.
And think about it. And the backup quarterback that they had, Hayner and whatnot, he just looked bad. He looked bad.
Awful.
So now that you're getting ready to put Spencer Rattler, you're getting ready to put his feet to the fire. As we said before, it sucks to watch a rookie quarterback go out there unless you're Dan Marino. Marino was just different. That's one of the few rookie quarterbacks that I would say that just came out firing on all cylinders, and nobody had an answer for that dude.
I don't know,
Stroud too. But hold on, I'm trying to think. Stroud, let me see. Did Stroud win offensive player of the year?
What up, Smitty?
He won rookie of the year.
Yeah, he won rookie of the year.
Yep. So he's the
other. That man won a playoff game. Yeah,
for real.
So in other words, he pretty much did what Dan Marino did.
Oh yeah, he
exactly what Dan Marino did.
He cooking now.
And he cooking now. He
cooking now.
So, but you know what?
I ain't got no sophomore slump. Sophomore slump.
I'm not gonna compare. I'm gonna say this here. I'm not gonna compare him to Dan Marino because Dan was a killer in college. And he brought that to the NFL. Unfortunately, us Bulldog fans know about that. Shout out to my Aunt Lynn. She stopped by. She was a cheerleader at that game that we lost in New Orleans to Pitt when Dan Marino threw that darn rainbow pass to John Brown. So I'm sorry, Auntie, but we started talking Dan Marino. I know you can't stand him. I apologize, but we just looking at these young quarterbacks, and you see a lot of the things that Dan did with these young guys. And Jaden Daniels is another guy who you got to look out for too.
Jalen Daniels, boy, he coming into here going go quickly, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that, Smitty. Yeah, he's gonna be. He might be the first one to do it since Jim.
You know, Dan Quinn is like, I might just get a goddamn extension after this. The way he playing.
And here's the thing: it's like everything Magic Johnson touches turns to gold. Y'all pay attention to that. Magic has won with every organization he's been with outside of the Lakers. Soccer club championship. The Dodgers World Series as a minority owner. And now he with Washington. And you see pretty much what they doing now. I'm Arthur Blank, you should have opened your pay. You should have let Magic invest into the Falcons a little bit, man. He got that. Hey, his name's Magic for a reason.
Whoop, that is.
Well, we got some minority on who I want to. Do you know who?
We actually do. We got Dominique Dawes, former gold medalist, Olympian. That's
There you
one of the
go.
big names that was there. We got a few, but
Okay.
I'm like this. I wouldn't have minded Mr. Magic because think about it. Magic was already up in the Atlanta community already with his movie theaters. Remember?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I got you. That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe at the time, when he was letting people be an investor, I mean, it just probably was the right time. He wasn't ready to invest in football. So then when he time to invest, the Redskins, I'm sorry, the Commanders were available. So
Man, you call them. Look on this show, dog. You call them the Redskins. They still the Redskins to me. I
Commanders.
know they're called the Commanders, but guess what? They
yeah, I mean,
have all of the because they got all the Redskins history still in that stadium. Those Super Bowl trophies, the retired numbers, they got everything still. So again, it's
better.
yeah.
It's better than the
But
Washington football team, which were. Oh my goodness.
yeah, that was that.
agreed.
I did not like what they had there. I'm glad they changed the
The
Commanders. They sound a little bit better.
Washington football team.
They
Kind of like a
They
team
should have
off
called
10-yard
them. They
fight.
should have called them the Washington Presidents or something. I don't know.
or they could have called them the Washington Federals after the old USFL team from back in the
That
80s.
would have worked better than the Washington football team.
Exactly. They could have brought that name out of retirement, but
Kind of
but
like
they
a
didn't.
generic name for freaking Techno Bowl or something. But
Hey man, shout and speaking of the Washington Federals, rest in peace to Jefferson Street Joe Gilliam, Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback that was his final stop in playing football, professional football when he played for the Washington Federals. So shout out to Mr. Jefferson Street Joe Gilliam, one of the best to ever do it, Tennessee State alum. But getting back to it, Bijan and Tyler Algier, they have finally started to kind of figure out how to create a nice balance in this offense. But can Zach Robinson keep feeding the hot hand and keep momentum going? That's the question.
go
I'm
ahead,
gonna
Kato.
let K Dub start this one in Gray Beard. What you got?
I mean, I feel like Zach Robinson is getting his feel. I mean, like I say, every game that he calls, because this is his rookie season, he learns the players more and more, and the players learn their offensive coordinator more and more. I just feel like, uh, you know, every game I feel like he's evolved each game. If you've been honest with yourself from game one to
Mm-hmm.
game two, so I just feel like I mean, hey, I feel like you just got to lead off with what you lead off with. That don't mean no. That doesn't mean the carries have to change. But you, I'm gonna go in. I feel like Tyler need to lead this game. I feel like Bijan need to lead this game. I mean, every game is a different feel, but at the end of the day, at the end of the game, the carries can even out. But it's just kind of like feeling who's the right particular back for that particular lineup for that particular matchup. See what I'm saying? I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
each one has a different running style. This may be the game to start, Bijan in. But it could also be a game where you need to have that battering ram continue to keep battering and wearing that
Mm-hmm.
defensive lineup and then let Bijan cook. But like I said, man, I'm all behind Zach Robinson. It's the reason why Raheem handpicked him. I mean, it didn't take him no but a millisecond to hire this guy. So it's something that he's seen in the guy when they work together in Los Angeles. So it's a lot of coaches he's been around in his tenure in the NFL. He didn't pick any of the guys he worked with in the past. He picked this guy right here that he's been working with. So I believe in the guys that he picked, and we're not leaving the division not by for no reason. So I just feel like we're pushing all the right buttons. You got the right guys working together from head to toe, from general manager on down. And I feel like we just got to continue to do the things that we've been doing, and like you said, continue to find depth, to help us on this journey. But other
Yep.
than that, man, staying healthy, that's it. But for us, Zach Robinson feeding the hot hand, keep on feeding who hot. That's it. I mean, I can't say who it's gonna be, but we got
Yep.
two nasty backs. Just go who you feel like is the guy in that particular drive. You know what I'm saying? If it's Tyler, stay with Tyler. I think sometimes he'll switch the back a little bit too early.
Uh-huh.
Stay with that back for a minute.
Yep.
Stay with that back for that minute. Let that back hit his helmet or something. Let him have to tap out. but stay with that guy. If he ripping that thing off hard, stay with him. Then if you tap that helmet, I need you to do an honest tap the helmet. Then I'm coming in with you. It's like wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to go tag your partner. We coming in. So I mean, I just feel like I'm gonna be honest and be positive about it. I feel like you've not even seen the best of Zach Robinson. I just feel like I don't want him to get too good too fast because then they'll go try to hire him away from us. He won't be
Well,
able.
now here's the thing. I'm gonna say this in great bids. You can go. I'm a hitch on to what you were just saying. Here's the thing. Raheem Morris was gonna bring in somebody off that Shanahan tree. It was gonna be somebody off the Shanahan tree. If it wasn't Zach Robinson, here's another guy that he actually looked at. Nobody talks about it, but I got to give the Black Wall Street Journal, our boy Scoop, credit for this. Clint Kubiak, who's the offensive coordinator for the Saints. That was his other guy that he looked at. And remember this.
He doing good right now.
Clint Kubiak is the son of Gary Kubiak, who was once our offensive coordinator at one point. And also he helped the Denver Broncos win a Super Bowl in 2018. And he also won it as an offensive coordinator in 97 and unfortunately in 98 where our Falcons lost to him. So when you look at it, you had an extension off that Shanahan tree with that guy. Now, another guy that he looked at, but Washington got him early, Cliff Kingsbury. That would have been another guy. That was another guy that he looked at that literally had that same air raid type of offense, and it was similar, but it fit. What's going on, Mike? It literally fit everything that we were doing. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it, I got to give Raheem his credit because some of the guys that were on that list were definitely young, hot coordinators that definitely could have helped us. And like what Zach Robinson is doing, figuring out how to put points on the board. So great bit. What you got?
Oh yeah, just to piggyback with KW and you again, I just think the play calling had gotten better over the week. And like I think KW echoed, yeah, he just need to get his footing, need to find his rhythm, especially with how Bijan and Tyler running the football. You just need to try his best to keep with the hot hand. If Tyler is just gaining like 5 or 7 yards a game, feed him. Just feed him. Just feed him until like he can tap the helmet and he got to come out. And then once that defensive line is doing this right here, bagging the wing, Kurt Bijan in there and just let him finish the job. So I just think he's slowly getting better to finding that. But I just think this game right here, it should be the Bijan and Tyler show. That's just my opinion. This game right here is tailor-made for these two back to just dominate a battered and injured defensive front.
Mm-hmm. So the next thing we're going to talk about going into this game, how to start fast and finish strong versus Carolina. Here's the thing that I'll say. The way that you start fast, you put up points in that first half. The quicker you put them away, the quicker you put them away, the quicker you can rest your starters. Because this is a game where you're supposed to at least put up 35 points. You already showed that you could put it up against the other good team in the division with Tampa Bay. You also showed that you could put up over 25 points against the New Orleans Saints. So again, when you really look at it, this is a game where you got to be able to cover the spread and rest your players at this point because they're going to have a test coming up soon. They're going to have to play the Dallas Cowboys. Even though Dallas is up and down, that's still going to be a test. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks that come after this week. So you're going to have a test, and then you go right back to Tampa, and you got to play the Bucs. So you're going to have two games that are going to continue to test you, but this Carolina game, you should be able to take advantage of a quick start. And they're also bringing Bryce Young back in after he was benched.
Which was crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me.
Well, I feel like we should. That's what should happen. But with the way this team plays, we play everything tight to the vest. We be playing battle. So I want for what you're saying. But if I know this team, we'll be winning by a field goal or something. So,
man, you know what? I got a name for the Falcons right now, man. I know y'all finna laugh, but I got a name for the Falcons. We gonna call them the blood pressure boys, the blood pressure birds. That's what we calling the Falcons, the blood pressure birds. You heard it, hey, you heard it here, coined on the Birdcage LLC. So if any other podcast out here uses that term, I will be hitting you up for trademark infringement. I'm already in works putting it into the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office right now. So I'm letting you know this now. If you do use that term, go ahead and cut me the check, please. Cut me the check so we can go ahead and continue to pay our bills. We gotta keep the lights on around here in the cage, man. Lights ain't cheap.
The blood pressure.
Yeah, the blood pressure birds. That's what we call them. It's been coined on the Birdcage LLC, the blood pressure birds, because guess what? You got to have your blood pressure medicine on you. You got to have literally an oxygen tank, everything you can think about, dog. They keep your pressure high, high like this gasoline.
I'm just being honest. So you got to be living on the edge because that's what we got. That's how they play. I mean, but they win. So long as you win. And don't let me die. I'm all right.
Man, I ain't had that much freaking high blood pressure when I was in the Army. That let out there watching the freaking Falcon game. And I've been
wait a minute. And you was in the sandbox. That's the bad part about it. You was in the sandbox.
And were more calm than watching our Falcons in the fourth quarter. That's terrible.
And shout out to all our service representatives out there, active duty, veterans, and also our reservists. We can't forget about y'all either. And also shout out to the first responders right now that are out there in the elements helping those folks in Florida and also still helping those folks down in South Georgia and North Carolina at this point. So shout out to you guys. Exactly. So hopefully we're at least able to give you a little bit of relief today because we know that life has been a little tough. So we definitely got some love for you guys. So,
but I do agree with you, Victorian. We do need a fast start, man. I just want Kirk to go down there and just carve up the defense real quick, man. Defense do their thing, get the ball back, man. We just need to get off on third down. And the offense needed to go out there and convert third down. If we do that, we win the ball game by at least 30. Period.
I mean, for me, I think the exploited matchup, and it's going to be easy for me. The exploited matchup is Carolina's front seven because they're banged up. Run on them, lean on them, get them tired, and then you start bombing away. Let Kirk do his thing because guess what? This would be a good game to get a little glimpse of the future of the Falcons, Mr. Penix. I would love for us to get a lead. We could just sit back and say, all right, kid, here's the keys to the car. Don't crash it. Let's go. That's what I would love to see. That's what I would love to see.
Sit back and learn. Now they want to even blind.
Hey, but here's the thing. Blind. But we don't want to also risk Kirk getting hurt right yet either. So if we get enough lead, pull him.
I'm a part in there. I don't want to be the one to say it. So
and when we get into the red zone, I bet when we get into the red zone, I better keep number 8 in that red zone cooking the defensive back. He ain't gonna mismatch nightmare for everybody in that secondary.
I think they're gonna run Kyle Pitts on more steam routes than anything because if you look at it, he's a mismatch going down the seam. And I think that's really a good route for him to run because like Richie said last week, when you're looking at Pitts, he's a guy that's not going to get out of breaks fast. He wasn't like that at Florida. He's not a guy that's going to get out of breaks like that. So the way that you use his skill set, you throw him on seam routes, corner routes, bench routes, and slant routes. That is how he eats. He's not going to be a guy that's going to sit there and dazzle you with certain things. If it's straight line speed, he's going to make a big play, but he's not going to run away from those defensive backs. But he's going to be the one that's going to move the chains for you. And that is how you got to get him involved in this game plan.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think that same route can make him plenty of money. If he perfect that route to perfection, man, he makes so much money running that the rest of his career.
But it also depends on the type of secondary we're going up against, because you can't just run, you can't run him down that route like that, because what's going to end up happening, you might as well go ahead and get him a bowl of soup and a straw, because he's going to be eating out of it for a week, depending on who the safety is. You want to put him in a position where he can make those plays, but you also want to keep him out of harm's way as well, because still, even though you can't really tee off on players like you used to, but him being a big guy, he got a lot of this exposed. And that right there, you still can tee off on that.
I mean, he learning. He going up against some of the best tandem in football, and so I'm sure he learned how to. I'm gonna make you look silly.
And here's the thing: we were fortunate that Antoine Winfield Jr. wasn't in last week, because a lot of those routes over the middle, that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
I got to give it to the boy. I got to give it to the boy.
I will say that. You are correct.
That boy nasty.
Renfield for real.
Football, you take advantage.
Oh yeah, you got to
mismatch. You make the mismatch. So that they had everybody hurt in that middle. So you do
Man, politicians do it to our tax return money all the time. They exploit it, bro. So guess what? You got to exploit every year. The way they exploit our money in Capitol Hill, you got to exploit a defense like that with a monster like Kyle Pitts. So, again, let's go ahead and get to these X factors real quick. Who do you think is going to be the X factor for this week, fellas?
Go ahead, get up.
Oh, okay. On offense, I'm going to say it's going to be Drake London on my offense.
Wow, you went away from your boy Ray Ray. Oh, boy.
I'm going away from Ray this week. I'm going to Draco, because he just, I don't know. It's something about this, like he's going to have another breakout game. Because I feel like last game he had 154. He might have 200 this game. He might put up 2 bills. So I just feel like Draco going to have a good game. I think he's coming into his own. I don't think he has any drop passes this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Not yet, no.
And I think he's just really going to, now that he sees that Mooney is really the number one, because the pecking order, now the pressure's off me. I don't really have to be that one. I can relish in that 2 role, because now Mooney's going to draw a lot more coverage, because he's, getting so much attention, and because he's, gaining so many yards now. And they're, on film, it's looking like Kirk's favorite target. So now on defense, I'm going to have to go with, let me see. This is a good one on defense, man. I'm gonna go with AJ Terrell, man. For some reason, I think AJ gonna have me some picks, man. He got to start getting some picks, man. Even if you don't get it, I'm trying to will him to an X factor here. So I'm gonna go.
That means we got to get the butt off his fingers.
Hey, I'm going out on a limb here.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. Hey, look, AJ a former Ben Hill Tiger, so I don't give plugs like that. But tell AJ to get that JJ's rib sauce off his fingers. Shout out to JJ's rib shack off Campbellton Road, baby. He got to get that barbecue sauce off his fingers or whatever, so he can catch a pick for us this year.
Still good too. Still good.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going with you,
man. You know what? I ain't gonna say nothing about it because I don't want to mess up their business. But you stop. I'm just joking, man. Shout out to JJ's over there off Campbellton Road. Ben Hill, Ben Real. You know what time it is, baby. But I'll say this week. Well, no, Graybeard go. I'm sorry, Graybeard go.
That Fox Brothers barbecue sold too. You got some new thing. So, they popular. They popular down there too. That Fox Brothers.
Barbecue so good, it make you want to slap your mama.
Yeah. Go ahead, Graybeard. I'm
sorry. Caught me off guard with that one. My defensive X factor, I'm gonna go with Onyemata. I want Onyemata to wreck shop against the battered offensive line for the Carolina Panthers. I want Bryce Young to be in terror all game long. So I think if we can get pressure, generate pressure, and tackle them a few times, man, I think the game is truly going to be ours. Offensively, man, I think we might get the Bijan show. I just think with Hickaloogan and being able to run the football the way he does, man, I think that defense is going to be gassed by halftime. So I just think if Zach Robinson, you can feed them, be contented, man, like Kurt, Will, and Deal. It won't be a trap game, but they got to come in here with a mentality that we're 0-4 instead of, we're 0-5 instead of 3-2.
I'll say this, man. For me, this week, what I'll say, I got two factors on offense.
Okay.
Normally I say one. I want the whole offensive line unit. That's my X factor. But Zach Robinson, you've had close games. This is a time where you got to put belts to ass. You got to put belt to ass in this game to make a statement so we can run this division. Those are my two X factors offensively, because if Zach can call a quality game in this game, and we can get out of this thing cleanly, I think that favors us going forward, because what you have now is more confidence in an offensive unit that is still learning how to play together. You understand what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Because you still got a lot of new pieces there. So I gotta say the offensive line is key. I'm gonna tell you this here, and I gotta shout out to my guy that's on Twitter or whatnot. My guy Bubba. He's a Tennessee fan, unfortunately, but it was a term that he used earlier today. We want to see more of this offensive line blocking so Kirk Cousins can drop dimes in somebody's front pocket, right in their front shirt pocket. That's what you want. Kirk Cousins got to keep dropping dimes in your front shirt pocket. Pretty much. That's what we want to see. Again, this is pretty much what you have. So shout out to my guy Bubba. We still gonna put belt to ass when Georgia play Tennessee this year. So don't think I forgot about the comment you made earlier too. But I wanted to make sure I coined that phrase for him, because he actually put that out there earlier today. Defensively, for me, I got to go with Cade Nellis in this ball game, because he was gashed last game. Let's keep this a buck. Yes, he recovered the fumble at the end of the game, but you being a middle linebacker, you got to be able to control the eye of the storm as a linebacker. You're pretty much the main guy on the defense. The second guy that's the main guy on that defense is Jesse Bates. That is your eyes and ears. And now you got Justin Simmons. So you have two types of players that are behind you, but you have to control the chaos, bro. You are a middle linebacker, and you're running the defense. You are running the defense. You got to get it together this week. You can't get gashed like you did last week, period. You cannot get gashed. You got to step into this hole. You got to get your tackling back down, because 2 weeks in a row, 2 ball games in a row with the Saints and with the Bucs, you definitely struggled. We know that you're a good player, but I would like to see a little bit more from you this week, and I'm going to put the challenge to you, because I love you as a linebacker. I think you're one of the best in the league, but I think you need to show it this Sunday by stepping up and making those plays.
Coming out of the University of Idaho.
Yes, those are my X factors for that. What are your score predictions, fellas?
I'm gonna go with Falcons 34-9.
I'm gonna go Falcons 32-16. 32-16. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Falcons 28-10.
Right.
I think we're gonna probably give up. And the reason I say that, I think they're gonna keep things tucked to the vest. They're not gonna really expose a lot. This is a game where you should be able just to grind it out. I think we get 4 touchdowns in this game, and they score a touchdown on a busted play. I believe that's what's gonna happen. It's a busted play, and they're gonna get a field goal. But other than that, I think that we win 28-10. I don't think we're going. But you know what? It'll be Nando. That's a good score, but it's gonna be a lot closer because it's a division game. Unless we really jump out on them, I honestly believe it's gonna be 28-10, bro. It's not gonna be as deep as
if we don't jump out on these boys, man, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm just getting caked. Getting dog walked by everybody. Go ahead.
But here's something I got for you, fellas. I talked about the legendary Pat Fisher earlier today. He passed away on the 8th of October. He was one of the best cornerbacks in the league, one of the smallest cornerbacks in the league. He was the prototype for Brent Grimes. He played 17 years in the NFL, played in the Super Bowl, was a multiple-time Pro Bowler, and he's also a Nebraska Cornhusker. He's in the Nebraska Hall of Fame. Pat Fisher was one of the best to ever do it. Tough, durable, never missed a practice, never missed a game. And when you look at it, I'll give you this. He's one of the great. He's in the Washington Commanders Ring of Honor. He got the George Halas Award in '78, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time first-team All-Pro, and he was a 2-time second-team All-Pro. And this is a guy that was 5'9", 170 pounds, and he was a 17th round pick. Pretty much, he was picked 232.
Wow.
The 17th round doesn't exist anymore. Should be in the Hall of Fame. 56 career interceptions, 941 interception yards with 4 touchdowns.
Dang. Yeah,
He started in the NFL. He started in the NFL as a wide receiver and converted to cornerback.
Yeah, he should have been.
Let that marinate. He converted to cornerback.
He should have been in the Hall.
So fair use.
Fair use.
This is Mr. Pat Fisher. Rest in peace. I know. Hopefully, your family can find some comfort at this time because I know it's tough losing a loved one. But Mr. Pat Fisher, you are gone, but you damn sure ain't forgotten over here. That's like I said, it's my job to keep you guys spirits alive. So, Pat Fisher, fair use.
Played 110%. He was as tough as nails. Loved the game.
George Allen.
Tremendous competitor.
Fisher played the corner with his head first and his body second. This enabled him to anticipate a receiver's every move.
You can remember back in those days, they did a lot of bump and run, man-to-man defense, and he'd be on you like your underwear. No matter, he was like a fly. You could never get rid of him. You whack him and you think you're open, and there he is. And when you did catch a ball in his area, he let you know. He would nail you. He would take on fullbacks, halfbacks, a guard pulling out. He'd dip underneath him.
Because Pat Fisher attacked much larger players with such relish, it's surprising that he is a soft-spoken, scholarly man who appears more at home in the classroom than on a football field.
Most important is to avoid the fear. Once you win that war, that's the mental thing, that it's not going to hurt. And that big guy, you can win the war. It's kind of exciting to do it. If pain isn't going to be a part of it, only embarrassment is left if I fail to make the contact and get him down. You have to be a hitter. You have to run through people. Now, what makes...
I got to pause it because I don't want us to go black, but K-Dub stepped off for a sec. So what you're seeing right here, 5'9", 170 pounds, 175 with tape on him, one of the toughest corners to ever play the game, and was not afraid to hit people. If you guys saw that guy that he hit for the New York Jets, that was John Riggins. That was the Diesel, ladies and gentlemen, in his younger days.
I thought
that was John Riggins.
I thought that was John Riggins.
And if anybody knows about John Riggins, everybody knows that the Diesel was something nasty. And so when you look at it, you're talking about an undersized corner that did not mind mixing it up with bigger guys. One of the greatest battles that he had was against the Southern University NFL Hall of Famer, Mr. Harold Carmichael, that played for the Philadelphia Eagles. That was one of his biggest rivals, and they used to go at it. Trust me. And Harold was 6'8". So, yeah, 6'8". And Harold was a hell of a basketball player, too. Shout out to Raines High School down in Jacksonville. But I'm going to go ahead and get this started. So if you're looking at this, this is the legendary Larry Zonka that played for the Miami Dolphins. Fair use.
Makes you a good football player is how often you do that. If you do it every play, you're going to be a great football player.
He tackled like a rope or a crab. He hit you with all fours, legs, arms, everything. And without exception, he hurt you every time he tackled you.
You'd catch a high pass from him, and he'd jump on your back and get his fingers in your eyes and claw you to death.
That first game was a pretty good experience for me because, I got out there and he started talking to me, and he intimidated me, threatened to break my leg, this, that, He was probably the one guy that I've ever played against in professional football where when you came off the line of scrimmage, you had to know where he was at.
Fisher was fearless and tenacious. Many players have these qualities, but few could shape them into such a frightening and unrelenting force. From whistle to gun, he beat on, agitated, outwitted, and intimidated receivers. He was the pepper in the Redskin stew.
Distraction is the key to why you want to intimidate.
So what I'm gonna do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna forward it to one of his greatest rivals. So fair use, fair use, fair use. So this is one of the greatest rivals he went to, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. Just want to pay some homage to one of the best corners that played in the league that should be in the NFL Hall of Fame, and they don't have him in there.
This man was,
and he was only 5'9". He was my size, K-Dub and Glenn. He was my size. So fair use, fair use, fair use.
Freaking minute.
The guy that's more aggressive.
Fisher's most famous duels were fought with the Eagles' Harold Carmichael, number 17, and Oak, who outsized the Acorn by 11 inches and 50 pounds.
Go through the receiver to the ball. And in that case, with Harold Carmichael, it was always proved to be a valuable instrument. Go through him to the ball. Go through him to the ball. If you want to run inside, you may catch it, and you may get the first down. But I'm going to have to hit you. I'm going to have to punish you for doing it. That's the rule.
So I'm not going to bore you to death because I know
Man,
some
what
folks
you
are
talking
interested
about?
in that. I'm not going to bore y'all to death, but I had
love
to
this
put a
man
little
mentality.
I had to put that out there. So again, this man was Brent Grimes before Brent Grimes was established, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best to ever do it. So when I say I'm a scholar of the sport, I'm a true scholar because that's a guy that don't get talked about enough. And he was one of, and think about it. The gentleman that you heard said that you heard say he intimidated me. Guess who that was? That was Mr. Fred Biletnikoff. That is who the Biletnikoff Award is named after. One of the best receivers to ever play in the NFL. So again, when you have a Hall of Famer saying that about that man right there, that tells you enough of how tough and how dangerous he was.
This dude looked like a scholar or a professor, and this dude used to intimidate.
Whether you know it or not, he actually had a master's and a PhD out of Nebraska.
He had to.
Yeah, but here's the thing: one of the guys he played with back in the day was Big Boomer Bob Brown. Rest in peace to one of the greatest offensive linemen. They were teammates at Nebraska, and they were two of the smartest players on the team. So again, when you look at that, you have intelligence, and then you have a little bit of craze and a mean streak. And it's a shame that that man is not even in the Hall of Fame. And he's got better numbers than some of the guys that have come, some of the younger guys that have come. You know, it's a shame that you leave a guy like that out of the Hall of Fame, as well as Mr. Lester Hayes. I mean, I could go on. It's guys that should be in there right now. We got two Falcons that should be in there. Tommy Nobis, Jesse Tugger should be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Those are two guys that should be in there. You know, and it's sad that you have certain players that they got in because of popularity, and some were good, but some should have waited. But again, all I can say is now it's a beautiful thing to see how the game is played, but you'll never see that day and age of guys running up. Most guys are making business decisions now when they tackle somebody. That man didn't, and he was undersized his whole career.
I love it.
So, and you know, that's why I said I got to give Bijan Robinson respect because of what he did last week. He didn't make a business decision when he went up against Vita Vea. Vita Vea just pushed him out the way. He stepped up. So he earned my respect. I have nothing bad to say about Bijan because that right there shows you if he's a player or not. He didn't make a business decision. So again, when you have guys that's got this here, you can't replace a heartbeat. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, these guys are this here. I'm going to tell you like this, ladies and gentlemen. Skill can only get you but so far. Determination, heart, and hard work is going to get you further than the guy that's got skill. There are many guys that are in the NFL Hall of Fame, and there are great players that didn't have certain skill sets that other guys had. But because of the work and the determination, they're that respected. Pat Fisher is an example of that, ladies and gentlemen.
Without a doubt.
So, without further ado, we definitely appreciate y'all for coming on the show tonight, the magnificent Birdcage crew, and all the viewers that came in tonight. We definitely appreciate you for coming through here and really sharing just a couple of an hours and some minutes with us tonight. And again, our hearts are out to everybody that's out in Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina that are still recovering from the hurricane. And I'm gonna quote Mr. Calvin Lockhart, better known as Mr. Silky Slim in Uptown Saturday Night, and I'm giving the credit to that. Never have so few owed so much to so many. We thank you, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.